Welcome to the Full Armor of Game podcast, episode number 15, with Czar Danya, the Czar of Dating, and the Texting Prince. Today, our topic is struggling with dating, especially in today's modern dating era. We will answer questions that we received from our fans regarding dating, relationships, certain situations they're in. We are here to help you fellas. Put on the full armor of game. Let's get this podcast started.
You bring the crowns and heads of conquered kings to my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. This is Sparta!
Put on the whole armor of
game.
This is where we fight! And these shield boys!
The first question I have here, nice and short, sweet, and simple, is from Richard. He said, "Hey, Prince, love your guys' podcast. I've been in a relationship for the past 12 years. And I'm recently single. What advice do I need to know to start dating again?" One quick thing that comes to me in mind, so he's been out of the game for 12 years, is I would say in 12 years, the thing you really need to be ready for is that dating has moved. It's gotten a lot faster in the sense that women have social media and dating apps now, and it's so prevalent that they have a lot more guys that they're able to connect to and reach out to. So when I mean the dating game has gotten faster, that means that if you don't have things down like communication with women, understanding how to create mystery, which we talk about on previous podcasts, because women have more options these days with the online atmosphere, that if you don't make an impression early or you come on too strong too early, women will move on quicker now because it's just that swiping dating mentality where they're used to like Tinder, where it's just like, oh, I don't like this guy, swipe left, move on, move on, move on. So I would prepare yourself for that in the last 12 years is you've got to have better game now. And because of the competition now, it's just that you're going to be you're competing against more and more men because the average woman has more access to other men. So you just got to have this dating mindset down to be able to get back out there and have success.
Number one, embrace rejection. Go out, embrace rejection. You being out of the dating game for 12 years, I don't know what the fuck you've been doing with your life, but I hope you've been building something, making money, raising your status, building wealth. I hope you weren't just sitting at home with a dry thumb up your ass, because like the Texting Prince said, within the past 12 years, the dating game has changed. It's not the same from what I remember it being 10 years ago. Women move on quicker. Women are becoming more masculine. Women are becoming more toxic. So a lot of things have changed. Just because you sleep with the girl doesn't mean that she's already attached to you. They can move on very quickly. Sleeping with a woman means nothing in today's world. But there's hope for you. As long as you keep adapting, you're improving yourself. Listen to our podcast. I want you to stay away from the red pill content because it's going to instill fear inside of you, where you're not going to want anything to do with women. We're not preaching that. We love women. We want you guys to be successful with women. So learn as much game as you can. Start going to social venues and talk to people. Talk to as many people as you can run into a day. The tongue is the only tool that gets sharper with every use. You have to know how to communicate with women in today's society. Also, read psychology books. We can't stress that enough. If you look at this video, the Texting Prince has a huge amount. He has a plethora of psychology books on his bookshelf. So do I. So you better start reading some psychology books that are going to teach you about human dynamics, social dynamics, teach you about the female psychology, the female mind. Don't read bullshit that's not going to get you anywhere. So enhance your mind, enhance your personality, enhance your body. Work out, build confidence. Yes, the dating game has become harder. I agree. But it's much easier for me and you, Texting Prince, because we evolved. We kept adapting. We kept learning new strategies. We never stopped learning the game. We're learning each and every day. And that's what's going to separate you from the average Joe Schmo, because a lot of these guys out here are fucking average. I see it every day. Go to the gym. Most of them are wearing pajamas, Crocs. They have no confidence. They have no self-esteem. They can't even communicate with anyone properly. Their vocabulary is shit. But you need to be improving yourself each and every day. We're not better than the next person. We're only better than the guy who's not bettering himself each and every day. Those are the only people we're better than, fellas. So you better get on it. Don't be lazy. Start right now. Learn as much game and material as you can and get our courses. It's a good head start if you get our courses. At least you have a blueprint. You're going in with a strategy rather than not having a strategy going into the dating world.
Yeah, one last quick thing off this one too is, since you've been out of the game for 12 years and it looks like I think he's mid 40s. Another thing is just be careful of, and we've mentioned this on the last podcast or one of the podcasts, about be careful of the dating advice you take. I would say it's really important to understand that, especially when you're new to this, I know you're going to want to reach out and learn a lot of different advice. Just make sure the advice you're getting is from men that have been single recently because of this new era of dating. You've got to, the guys that don't want to hear that, hey, you've got to be able to create mystery and intrigue. You've got to be able to put it off that you have a busy image and that your schedule is busy. These are things that you need to have in today's dating world, because again, the competition is higher in the fact that women have all these guys that they can connect to digitally, but you've got to make sure that you understand how to get a woman's attraction early and keep it. And the guys that are right now married or that have been dating for a long time or that have been, out of the game giving you advice, that advice is not going to help you with today's modern woman. So when you're taking advice, look for men that have been recently single, recently dating in today's modern era, because it's just changed so much.
Yeah. So before you even start your journey, I want you to focus on yourself for those 3 to 6 months. Forget about women. They will come. Work on yourself. Work out 5 days a week. Eat healthy. Do hobbies that you enjoy doing. Go hiking. Go to the shooting range. Go to the zoo. I don't care what you do, what you enjoy doing. Do those things so you can become a man that women want. A man who's adventurous, fun, your body's on point, you're walking with confidence. You have to work on yourself before you even think about getting any women. That's the hardest part, but it's so easy to do. Well, once again, a lot of people are lazy. How bad do you want this? How bad do you really want this? Because a lot of guys claim they do and they don't. And I'm not wasting my time with those men. I know Texting Prince isn't wasting his time either. We're only helping those men that want help with women, that are hungry. So go out there and prove to us that you are fucking hungry. Work out, lose some weight, get a six-pack. I don't care. Then you'll be ready to go out in the dating world.
All right. You got one for us, Czar?
Yeah. So I'm going to share the screen. He actually texted me yesterday. Albert, we're going to go over your issue that you had. Thank you for sharing this, by the way, on Instagram. You can also follow us on Instagram at Texting Prince and Czar of Dating. And I'm going to share the message that he sent me. And it's on screen. So those guys that are going to watch this on YouTube, you will be able to see this. So this was his situation. After our brewery date, we sat inside her car and started making out. I started kissing her breast, nipple, and dry rubbing her cat. You guys know what that is. At no point she let me know she felt uncomfortable. She also stated she was great at giving head. My reply, what are you waiting for? That's a good reply, right? We taught them that. If a girl says she's good at giving head, look down at your crotch and say, what are you waiting for? Very alpha, cocky, bold. Also, she said she's an anal receiver, but she needs to be drunk. His reply was, are you drunk now? Which was a good, solid reply. I like that. Okay. And now this is what she messaged him after the date. And he said he didn't want to reply to her. So she messaged him, hey, Albert, I think you came on too strong last night, and it honestly made me uncomfortable, unfortunately. So what I told him to do is flip it on her. Flip everything on her. So I told him to say, you know what? I think you're right. You did come on too strong, and I'm not some kind of a piece of meat. I hate when women just use me for my good looks and my body. I feel very uncomfortable right now, and I would appreciate if we took this a little slower. Right? Flip it on her. Reverse it, fellas. Reverse psychology. It's better than apologizing, saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I should have never done that. I apologize. Now you're seeking her approval. You're being needy. You're starting to apologize. How would you have played that, Texting Prince, if she sent you that message?
Yeah, so the one we had, let's see. So this is actually a good one to combine, right? We had that message as well from Kenneth, who said, so I'm going to relate these kind of two in one here. He said hey, Texting Prince, I found you and Czar. Oh, I found you through Czar, and I really appreciate the podcast and your insight. And he asked, how do you make your girlfriend more sexual with you? In other words, sexualizing your girl. She is very feminine, by the way, and I want to teach her to be more sexual. And I think more sexual without coming off as too pushy or weird is what I want. So something that I think about too with women is when the guy is always the aggressor, then women have the defensive mode on, because we all know it's a cliche that men want to sleep with women. Women know that, and men know that. That's kind of the goal guys have, is getting laid or sleeping with a girl. So because of that stigma, right, all women are going to be naturally defensive, is in they're going to be waiting to hold off longer than the guy. It's a very rare that the girls are so forward about what they want to do and sleep, with guys. So they're usually on that defensive mindset, and guys are more on the offensive mindset. So whenever I start, so you're going back to, in her car making out, and he said, I started kissing her breast, nipple, and dry rubbing her cat. So on those situations, when I'm in those with a girl, if I start kissing a girl, or we start kissing, I'm always going to be the one to push her off first. So if I was in the car with her making out and we start kissing, I'm going to, after, a few kisses, I'm going to push her away, and I'm actually going to use what she used on you. And I'm going to be like, whoa. Hey, you're coming on too strong here. And I'm going to actually, and I'll smile at her, a little like clever little smile. I'll be like, whoa, this is the first day. You got to earn that more. So I'm going to push her off of me. And what that's going to do is that's going to train her to go, oh, okay, he has self-control. That means that if we get sexual, we start, getting excited, I can trust that he's able to snap out of it and not let this go too far. And that's really important, even with Kenneth's questions here about how to sexualize your girl more, is you want to make her feel like she can put the green light on anytime, because you're able to put on the red light, versus making her feel like most guys, right, once they start kissing, kind of like we saw here with Albert, is they start kissing and he goes right for her breast and nipple. Then he starts to dry rub her cat, her pussy, for guys that aren't picking up on that yet. So again, what's going to happen is when you're always trying to push it forward with no brakes on, women are going to go, well, I got to put on brakes. And that's actually going to desexualize women, because they're going to feel like no matter what, oh, shoot, I can't kiss this guy at all, because he's going to try to move it forward. He's going to try to start kissing my, or he's going to start grabbing my boobs and trying to kiss my nipples. So again, when it starts out sexual in any way, I always push her off of me first. And I'm like, hey, whoa, you're moving a little too fast here. Smile at her. And then, eventually you start kissing again. I'm going to do the same thing. And if I start to go down to her boobs and start playing with those a little bit, I just do it very briefly. And then I push off. And I'm always trying to get her comfortable moving forward so that she doesn't have that red light on. So when I see something like this, I like Czar's response when she already did, come on with, you came on too strong. That's a great reply to her sending that message. I don't want to get in that spot where a girl's sending me that message. And that's why I will always, if you've ever heard 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, it's sort of like that. I almost go 1 step forward, 2 step backwards in the sense that we can initiate kissing, but I'm pushing her off first. So it feels like she's actually the one always making moves on me. And that will get girls comfortable to be more sexual with you more often. So every next level, once you go from kissing to grabbing her boobs, touching her boobs and all that, I'm going to push off and have her initiate that next stage after. So if I start, touching her boobs real quick, I'm going to, then going to go back up, kiss her. Then I'm going to push off, be like, whoa, this is our first date type thing. And that'll get her in the mood, but she'll also go, this guy can actually say no. That's cool. That's attractive. I can actually have a green light with him. And then each step of the way, if I start something, I push off and I kind of back off. And that, again, trains women to be able to feel comfortable being sexual with you and having that green light on all the time so that you're not coming on too strong. Because the minute that you're always initiating is where women are going to know every time I hang out with this guy, I don't even want to start kissing him early on in the date because he's going to try to have sex with me right away. Versus if you can get comfortable kissing, pulling away, and just playing that little cat and mouse game, then girls will be like, I can kiss this guy anytime because I never know when he's going to let it go farther. And when you hear it like that mindset of, I never know when he's going to let it get farther, that's the mindset you want to be in, where it's you deciding when you go farther because you're able to push away and slowly escalate in that way without making her feel uncomfortable and defensive and like she has to stop you and swat you away.
Yeah, I'm going to touch up on that email from Kenneth. Thank you, Kenneth, by the way, for following us and supporting us, all of you guys that reach out to us. So, number one, okay, I'm showing you the text message, the message that Albert sent me. Okay, it's on the screen if you watch YouTube. So, after the brewery date, okay, they sat in the car, they started doing whatever, right? She stated how good she was at giving head. She also said she likes to do anal. What do I tell you guys in my attraction ebook? One of the signs that a girl is batshit crazy and has several red flags is when she starts bragging about her sexual abilities. That is a batshit crazy girl. You played it right, but at the same time, I would keep that in the back of the mind. This girl is crazy. Anytime a girl has to talk about how amazing she is at sex or her sexual abilities, it comes with drama. Now, most of the times, I'm not going to try to make anything happen sexual inside of a car. I'll hook up with them, whatever, right? Maybe touch their breasts, but go back to your place or go back to her place. If you don't have the time or she doesn't want to go back to your place, wait until the second date. Just say, okay, cool, no problem. Listen, I got to go. I hope you have a great night. And that's it. Leave. But what happened here is several things. Either you kept pushing yourself onto her when she was trying to push you off. Okay, I'm not saying this happened. I'm saying this happened in the past with several men that women have told me about, where they would try to push them off and say no, and the guy was still aggressive, trying to make his moves, even after she rebuffed his advances. So that could have happened. I'm not saying it did with you, Albert. And another thing, when a woman texts you something like this, hey, Albert, I think you came on too strong last night, and it honestly made me uncomfortable, unfortunately. Two things might be happening. Either one, she's getting buyer's remorse, right? When you buy something, impulse control, You go back home and you're like, man, why did I get this? I should have never spent the money getting buyer's remorse. Women go through this. This is how I used to lose girls in the past because I made a move on them late at night. I was trying to go all the way. I never saw these girls ever again. Buyer's remorse. So we teach you in our seminar how to make sure this doesn't happen to you. The second thing that could have happened when this girl sent you this text, she doesn't want to seem like a slut. So she's doing this as a defense mechanism. She's blaming it on you because, as we know, women don't take accountability for shit. She doesn't want to look like a slut. So she's saying, hey, Albert, listen, I think you came on too strong last night and made me feel uncomfortable, because now she doesn't want you to perceive her as a whore or a slut. Those are the only options that could be happening. Or go back to the first one. She's batshit crazy because she bragged about her sexual abilities. This is not a woman you even want to date seriously. Comes with drama, and you could see it right now. She's the type of girl that might claim you did something to her, and your reputation means a lot. Don't get jammed up in situations with the wrong types of women. But that's my perspective on that.
And on this too, with that, yeah, like Czar said about the car situation, like I never want to be in a rush with women. Period. When you're texting a girl, you never want to rush trying to ask her out. You know, if you meet a girl, you never want to rush trying to just escalate it right away. So if you don't have the time in the night, like you're in your car and you don't have the ability to go to her place or go to your place, that's when, right? I'm never going to rush. I'm not just going to try to get it in the car. I want my dates or my nights with women to feel like a long played out chess game where I'm always a step or two ahead. So if I know that I can't go home with a girl that night, I'm not going to try to get so crazy sexual with her where she's going to feel like, whoa, we moved too fast and all that. So again, if we're in the car making out or something like that, once we make out and I push her off and I go, whoa, this is moving too fast, I mean, maybe I'll give you another kiss. But, you know, if we go back to my place, you know, I got, you know, I want to move it to somewhere else where we're going to have more time. I don't want to try to force it in the car. I never want to be in a rush with women. And so again, when you think of the night with a woman and you think of the chess match, you know, you don't want to try to checkmate her in 3 moves. I want to extend it the whole night if I can. I want to really slowly build that anticipation about the climax of the night. So that's why, again, if we're like, there's been times where I, you know, go out to the bar with a girl, we're in the parking lot and making out, and all of a sudden, you know, it's getting a little hot and heavy. I'm kissing her neck. And again, I'm going to push her off and be like, whoa, wow, I can't believe you let me go that far already. And again, I'm laughing while I'm saying that, but I'm putting that out there first so that she doesn't have that chance to put that out there. We're starting kissing and all that, and I'm pushing her going, whoa, I can't believe you got me to do this. You got me to break my first date kiss rule. And, you know, I'm like, but don't think it's going to be that easy to get into my pants. And I'm going to say that. And again, that's the chess match. Now the chess match is I'm not rushing for checkmate. I'm just slowly moving my pawns around my pieces. And now she's going, oh, this is fun. I'm going to try to get some more from this guy. So now you're playing the game with her, that attraction game. But a lot of guys get in that mindset of, this girl's letting me kiss her. I want to see how far I can get. And that's going to scare women away because you're over pursuing, or like she mentioned there, you're making me feel uncomfortable, right? I want it to be always where the girl's making me feel uncomfortable because she's coming on too strong. And the only way to do that is to step in, but then step out and kind of put it on her in that sense. Like, I can't believe you got me to break my first kiss rule, and slowly get her to feel more comfortable with you. And then again, when you're playing chess all night with a woman, that woman has so much to look forward to in the future when she comes to see you. Cause she's like, we're not just going to try to sleep with each other the first 15 minutes. It's like, this is going to be a chess match. Girls know when they hang out with me, it's a chess match. They don't know when they're going to get in my pants. They want to the entire night because I'm never letting them, you know, I'm never letting it get too fast, too soon. I'm always squeezing it out and really playing that attraction dance with a woman. So by the time we do sleep together, it's 1,000,000% her idea. And she's so excited. She has no buyer's remorse because it's completely her idea at that point because of the way I'm slowly moving around that chess game.
Yeah. So to go back to Kenneth, how to make your girlfriend more sexual with you, in other words, sexualizing your girl. So he said she's very feminine. I want to train and teach her to be more sexual without being pushy. So, number one, I could tell right off the bat, you're not leading, because as a masculine alpha, we always lead the girl into the bedroom. We're leading her to be sexual with us. You're not doing that. That's why she's feeling a little uncomfortable. She's not sure, because you're not giving her that certainty. You need to start being a leader in the relationship. Grab her hand, lead her into the bedroom, and you start being that dominant man. You're not forcing anything on her, but it's much easier when you first come in with that energy than trying to come in later with it and fixing it. It's much easier when you are already presenting yourself to be the masculine alpha male that knows how to lead the way for your girl. Then her being in her feminine, she's naturally going to let things happen organically with you sexually. But you need to be the man who's not passive. Women don't like passive. They like a guy who knows what he wants and goes after what he wants, not forcefully. I'm not telling you guys to be fucking creepy and acting like a caveman and bop a girl over her head and start dragging her into your cave. I'm not telling you to do that. But if she trusts your leadership abilities, you are assertive, you're masculine, she will be sexual with you. Feminine women are great because you can teach them certain things. You can put them on game. You can teach them what you like sexually. You can teach them what position you enjoy. They'll listen to you, but you have to be a man that can show her that assertiveness. Women aren't going to just figure it out on their own. You have to communicate that in a masculine way. And this will lead to another great topic that someone messaged me.
Oh, wait, I got one more thing on that before we get to the next
question. Go ahead.
So this is
going to lead into that, because something might happen. Okay. Something might happen in return if you don't play your cards right.
And just as a reminder to you listeners that didn't get to see the text, these are two different things. Kenneth's question is different than the text message we brought up with the guy in the car. So Kenneth, again, is wondering how to get his girlfriend, who's feminine, to be more sexual with him without becoming too pushy or weird. And so when I think about something like that, too, if you're with a girl that you might consider more shy, or when we talk about feminine women, more feminine women don't want to, they're usually less likely to portray that overt sexuality like a lot of like the feminist women or the strong and empowered women who are like, I get what I want. I go, they're so feminine women typically also dress more modestly and all that. So when I have a girl that is in that really feminine and she's more of that softer energy where she doesn't want to be outright aggressive and upfront with her sexuality, I like to slowly train that in a woman as well by saying stuff to her like, like, I really like how you are like such a good girl in the, in the streets, basically. But I love that you come alive for me in private. So
positive affirmations.
Like to say, yeah,
positive affirmations.
Like, exactly. Affirmations, trying to create what you want. So even, if you and your girlfriend have a, if you guys sleep together or something like that, that's something we can say like, man, I love that you give off such like a nice girl, energy to everyone else. But I love that you can unleash your wild side with me. And I say stuff like that. I love that you can unleash your wild side with me, so that she gets more and more confident in aggressing sexually when she's with you. And that's also a good way of shaping her to be more modest outside your relationship. I love that you're like a good girl image outside, but to me, that you feel you can unleash that wild side of yours. And so that's the type of stuff that I like to say to a woman. And, like after we sleep together, I say stuff like, man, it really turns me on when you get into that wild mode of yours. And I say stuff like that to her. So again, she's feeling more comfortable going, I can be wild with this guy, but she also is getting the feeling that that she's not just some girl that sleeps around and throws that around to every guy. Cause you're saying, I love that everyone else sees this nice girl side of you, but I get to see the bad girl side. And so you say that to her in private, and she starts to feel more and more comfortable being more of a bad girl with you while also maintaining that nice good girl image out to the world.
Texting Prince, why you got to reveal all of our secrets, man? Why you got to reveal these powerful secrets? You guys definitely have to join the seminar we have for next month. Okay, we'll get into that a little later, but these are very powerful. I hate him for even exposing this, for telling you guys, because I tell women this all the time. I know you're that good girl, but you bring out that animalistic side for the right man. I love that about you. You're only bad for me in bed, but you're very classy and feminine outside of the bedroom when I'm with you. I love that about you. Now, no holds bar, right? She can be herself in the bedroom with you. She doesn't want you to ever judge her, fella. So if you can let that wild side out inside of her by expressing that, using positive affirmations, like, babe, I love how animalistic you are in bed for me. Oh my God. And you could still be that good girl outside of the bedroom. Women feel special when you tell them these things. We have a good mouthpiece. That's giving her validation. That's appreciating her. No red pillar is ever teaching you this stuff, guys. We're teaching you the real fucking game that other men don't know. Women love hearing this. She'll get wet just from you telling her this. But I hate the fact that you had to reveal that. I hate it because it's so powerful. Myself. It's so if your girl knows that it's okay for her to be sexual, she'll be sexual with you. You have to convey that in a masculine way. You can never judge your girl, especially in the bedroom or asking about her past or what her body count is, because now she can't trust you. She knows you are judgmental. She can no longer be the woman that she wants to be with you only if you're going to judge her about her past or what she did with an ex or if the sex was better with another guy like her ex-boyfriend. Y'all be asking some dumbass questions, okay? Once you break that bond with the girl, when she knows you're judgmental, you're going to judge her, it's hard to come back from that. It's hard to reconnect that bond. It's not going to be as strong as it once was before, because all that oxytocin that she has for you, being comfortable with you, you being her safety net, her telling you all her secrets because she knows you won't judge her, all that oxytocin will now be gone the second you judge her. It's very powerful to never judge a woman and let her be that wild animal in the bedroom she wants to be with you.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Always the never judging a woman. You can listen and understand what she's saying, and maybe you don't agree with what she's saying, but the minute you overtly outright judge a woman, she will always close off with you, and she will never feel like she can openly reveal other things to you. So another great thing is to do is, like, after you sleep together or something, that's when you can say something to her like, hey, what's you don't have to answer right now, but just think about this. What's a secret fantasy of yours you've always wanted to try, but you never did? And like, I like to, and you can ask those questions to women. You can even not pressure, right? And like, this is not something you bring up on a dinner date or, well, again, I don't like dinner dates, but it's not something you bring up like outright on a date in public, but it's something that after you guys get intimate together and you give her that affirmation of, man, I love that you got wild for me and all that stuff. It's like, hey, by the way, you can think about this for a while, but I want to hear this at some point. What's a fantasy of yours you've always wanted to try but never did? And when you ask questions like that, again, you're getting her to think about more sexual stuff with you. And she's feeling like, wow, this guy's letting me be open and tell me what I really want. And now you're getting her more into that whole point of view where she's thinking about you and her in more of a sexual way. And the other cool thing too is, like, when you mix this with the last question of I don't want to ever overstep my boundaries with a woman, especially out in public or in a car or something like that, uncomfortable, is when girls know that you're never going to take things too far right away, that you can hold back, you can push her off of you. Then when you're out in public with her, the good girls, the nice girls, I have this happen to me a lot, is that they feel it's like a fun little secret between you and her where she plays that good girl image off to everyone else, but with you, she likes being that bad girl. And like, I'll be out at the bar sometimes with my buddies. I have a girl with me who's like a good, nice girl, And like under the table, she'll always try to like rub my leg or rub my crotch area. And like because she knows I'm not going to get all crazy and try to like escalate and have sex with her in the bar, she knows that I can hold my cool and I can kind of look at her and give her that little sly little look. And then it becomes a secret game we have because I'm never becoming overly sexual with her to the point where she has to, put on that brake light. So now when we're in public together and all that, she likes to have those secret little games where she's like, I'm going to try to make this dirty, but we're not going to let anyone else know about it. And those are fun little dynamics you can play with her as well when you kind of instill this little mindset and non-judgmental attitude with a woman.
That's my kind of pillow talk. I love that kind of pillow talk. What's your sexual fantasy? What really turns you on and gets you wet? And women will tell you they like role playing. They like being tied up. They even have their own handcuffs and vibrators that they want to bring with them. You'll be surprised how many girls already have their own bondage things and handcuffs at their place, their own vibrators. I've had girls ask me, like, can I bring my vibrator with me? Can I bring these handcuffs with me? The most angelic girls, because I let them explore their sexual fantasies with me. I want them to. I'm non-judgmental. I'm not going to judge them. And I had this one Asian chick, and she told me her fantasy was role playing. And when we started role playing, it was some freaky shit. She got so wet within 5 seconds, it was insane. All it took was role playing with her. Some women love being in the moment. So I was her professor. She was that Asian student where she stayed after and I was helping her with some homework. It was crazy, but you guys can get into it. Like, women love this kind of stuff. It's not in a perverted way, but let me tell you something. Women are very sexual. They have their own fantasies. That's why they love 50 Shades of Grey. That's why that book and movie was such a hit. Okay. But this is to follow up. I posted this for you guys that are watching this on YouTube. I'm going to share the screen as well. So you guys can see this. Okay. So this might happen to you where you're meeting up with a girl and you're just sleeping with her. She might hit you with this. This might even be your girlfriend, because this happened to me. Do you think that's all I'm good for? It's a question. I'm not making assumptions that you think that. I just want to know. So women will test you by asking you, oh, is that all you want from me? Is that all you think?
She's referring to sleeping together, right? Or being
sleeping
sexual?
Together. Yeah, because he was on his way to her place or he wanted to go see her. And women will give you this type of statement in response, right? Is that all you think I'm good for? You just want to use me for sex. So this is how you guys handle it. Give them positive affirmation. Be charming, be charismatic. Do not get mad or emotional. You have to give them that positive affirmation. Like, baby, no, I enjoy spending time with you. I love that feminine energy. It's not just about the sex with me and you. I can get that from any other girl, but I enjoy having sex with you only. Whatever it is, be charming. Have a mouthpiece, right? Say something, because I had a girlfriend that said this to me once, where she stormed out of my place because she thought I was just using her for sex, and it wasn't true. And I went after her and I had to calm her down. I had to talk to her. Like, listen, I enjoy sleeping with you, right? Because I love you. Like, I love sharing that energy with you. I don't want to do that with anyone else, right? It's not just about the sex. So I was giving her positive affirmations. Just be charming, be charismatic. Make sure you mean it too, fellas. Don't be bullshitting her. It has to come from your heart. Make sure you mean it so she believes you.
Yeah, and that's part of also with when I think of the chess master game when I'm with a woman is I never want a girl to get that impression that when she comes over, right, it's just for sleeping together. And that's why I don't try to escalate things so quickly, right? If I'm hanging out with a girl, I'm never rushing it. So I'm always making sure I have time. And right when she comes in, I'm not trying to get on her and start kissing her, all that. I'm like, I'm letting her get comfortable in the environment. Again, it's that slow game, that kiss a little, push her off. No, we got a movie to watch. It's like kiss her a little, push her off, be like, I don't know. If you want this getting farther, you're gonna have to tell me something about yourself that I don't know yet. And I'm going to stop the sexual interactions and make her work for more sexual interactions with me so that, again, she's not claiming that that's all I want from her. And in fact, it's the opposite. I could almost go, whoa, is this all you want from me? And I say that to girls all the time too, because again, I'm creating that image always with women where I'm getting her to initiate sexually because I'm pushing her off before she can. That then I can be like, is this all you're using me for? Sex, something like that. And I can smile at her and laugh. But I don't want women to feel that way when they're with me. And so other ways I think about this too is like, when I do sleep with a girl, and if a girl goes, oh, did you just, were you just trying to get in my pants or something like that? Or did you know we were going to sleep together? I always say something like, no, we just got caught in the moment. Like I was just expecting to hang out with you, have a good time watching this Disney movie, but we got caught in the moment and man, we couldn't help ourselves. So again, I like to always push it on like, we got caught in the moment. Again, that's going to also give her that non-judgmental frame because then she's not going to go, oh, this guy just looks at me like I'm some piece of meat to sleep with. I'm always like, no, I just enjoy hanging out with you. And our chemistry together is like, it just happens. We just, somehow it happened. All of a sudden we were watching the movie and all of a sudden we slept together. I don't know how it happened. I kind of play that aloof. Like we were just in the moment together. And that also makes her feel more comfortable knowing that it's like, we can go to hang out and he's not expecting sex. Of course, it's always going to happen, but he's not expecting that, so she doesn't have to feel like, some piece of meat coming over to your place. Now, again, there's going to be a time and a place for it. Some girls will just be like, hey, I want to come over and let's get it on. But again, that's her coming to me with that energy. It's not me going, come on over so we can get it on. Like, I'm never going to be that way. I'm always going to try to make it seem like we're just hanging out. And then, of course, we got caught in the moment. But a lot of women then, when they get comfortable with you and they know that you can hold your cool and you don't have to always go for something sexual, then women will say stuff like that to me. It's like, I want to come over and let's get it on. Like, I can't wait to just like have a lot of fun with you tonight, but I want that energy coming from her.
And that's going to lead into the next email about comfort. So this comes from Basil or Basel, Basel. Thank you. Hey, Czar, really enjoy listening to your content on TikTok and your podcast. My question is, how do you go about building comfort with a girl in order to initiate, set up the date? This is something that's especially frustrating and tricky for me. Would love to get your advice on this, maybe even speak on this topic in depth on your podcast. Okay, so the 3 phases: attraction, comfort, seduction. Those are the 3 phases, fellas. Okay, so how do you go about building comfort with the girl in order to initiate, set up the date, right? Number 1, you don't build comfort unless the attraction's there, because you're going to end up in the friend zone. If there's no attraction there initially, you will be the male girlfriend in the friend zone who's going to be carrying her purse, tying her shoes, and having brunch with her. That's why guys end up in the friend zone. They only have comfort with the girl. There's no attraction. There's no seduction. So you need to focus on attraction, not the comfort level. Because the comfort level will come naturally when you're out on that first date with her. Being non-judgmental, not always laughing at everything she's saying, not being that goofy clown during the date. Masculine frame, remain mysterious, let her talk. Ask her questions, tell her interesting stories. You can naturally build comfort with the girl with the energy you give off, the vibe you give off. But before you sleep with her, there has to be comfort. Yes, a lot of women will sleep with you without the comfort, especially if they're on vacation. There's always exceptions. We understand that your environment and what the girl is going through, especially if she just got out of a relationship or she's very vulnerable. But it's attraction first. Focus on the attraction. Okay, get our courses. Sign up for our seminar. Comfort, then seduction.
Oh, and so wait, was his question, the way I heard it was, he's looking, how do you build comfort so that she'll go out on a date with him?
In order to initiate, set up the date.
Yeah, okay. So this is good. This is really important because a lot of times when guys, especially when you haven't gone on a date with a girl, so you met her on an online dating app, maybe you approached her, but you haven't talked to her much. Maybe it's just some girl you met in a friend group, you haven't talked to her much. The comfort you want to build to get a girl to want to go on a date with you is actually opposite than what we kind of think. So what I used to think the comfort was that I needed to build with a woman when I'm matching with her on dating apps or don't really know her yet is I thought she needed to hear from me a lot through text.
Mhm.
We needed to play the 20 question game and get to know each other through the cell phone. And I thought that would build comfort. But in reality, that's wrong. That starts to build too much comfort to the friend zone because she finds everything out about you. So the comfort that you want to set with a woman to make it so she will actually want to go on a date with you is she needs to be comfortable knowing that you're not going to abuse her phone number. In what I mean by that is the comfort you want to build is her knowing you're going to take a long time to respond to her. You're not going to constantly be on your cell phone waiting for her text messages, because if you're the guy that's always texting her back right away, she's going to go, "Ooh, this is too much. He's coming on too strong." That's not building comfort. So the comfort I have with a woman is I'm going to take a long time to respond. And a good way I always judge this is when you think about mirror texting, that means however long it takes for her to respond to you, you take that much time and longer to respond to her, because that's going to be perfect comfort level on every individual girl. Some girls will wait 3 hours to message you back. So I'm going to take 4, 5, or 6 hours to message her back. And that's going to build comfort because you're playing at her pace. Some girls want to, message back in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Again, I'm always going to take longer. I kind of have a minimum 10-minute rule. So even if a girl's messaging me back every 1 or 2 minutes, I'm going to take 10 minutes to reply to her, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And that will slowly build that comfort to where the girl goes, okay, this guy's not abusing my phone. He's not trying to be overeager. He's not trying to rush anything. And once you have that comfort set where a girl knows, okay, I can message him and I'm not going to message back right away, and you start to build that comfort in that space you give her, that's when a girl will then go, well, I want to see this guy. I don't get a lot from him over the cell phone. I don't get a lot from him, talking to him by texting. So how do I get more to know more about him? I go on a date with him. So you got to build comfort by giving her that space of always replying slower than she does to you. And eventually you'll start to see that a girl's interest will grow because she was taking 3 hours to reply. Now she's taking 2 hours. Now she's taking 1 hour. Now she's taking 15 minutes, 10 minutes to reply. And once that starts to happen, you'll see the girls will start to go, hey, when can we hang out? When can we meet up? And that's the type of comfort is once they know that you won't be basically a stalker, you won't be overly needy. That's the comfort you build. And then she's ready to hang out. So it's really important on dating apps or when you have a girl's number is you have to mirror text her time. I have all that in my Principles of Texting ebook, but it's basically just giving her that time so she has that time to think for herself. And then as she increases that response time to you, that's when you know that she's becoming more comfortable with you. And once she's replying quickly to your text, that's when it's a lot easier to be like, hey, when are you free next week to get together? And then she's going to want to meet up with you because you've built the right type of comfort in that arena. And she has that mystery because you're not replying to her so quickly playing the 20 questions game. She's like, I don't really know much about this guy. Well, now there's some mystery to you as well. So you're building that comfort, but you're also keeping that attraction piece because she's wondering about you. She's not getting to know everything about you. And then she's going to want to meet up with you when you give her that space.
If you get my attraction course combined with the Texting Prince's texting course, there's no way you can lose with women, especially if you're working on yourself and you're studying this material. So we started our seminar yesterday. The first day went great. If you guys missed out, you'll have an opportunity to sign up for next month. Towards the end of December, we will be having a Christmas special. We're not announcing this on all social media platforms. We want to keep this kind of secretive, okay, for the guys that really want to change their life and master the modern dating era and attract any beautiful woman you want. We work with you one-on-one. If you are interested, you can email me at czarofdating@gmail.com and give us a $100 deposit if you want your spot because they get filled up very quickly. If you tell us, oh, I'm interested and you don't want to give us the deposit, that's cool. Someone else is going to take your spot. That's how we're doing this. And then we know that you're 100% fully committed into being part of the seminar. We know you're hungry. You're taking this seriously because we don't want men that are not taking this seriously. We only want the men that are willing to learn, who want to make a change. And you can also email Texting Prince at his email.
Yeah, support at textingprince.com. And again, we're going to be starting that next one because this is going to be a 5-week long hour session each week of coaching with Czar and I live. And then we're going to give you guys our products and programs so that you have time to, take all that advice in, and then you have time to go, okay, I still have questions about this, or I have specific situations I want to work on. So you can email me, support at textingprince.com. Again, that will be later in December. We're going to start that. And based on when we get a group of men, we're going to try to figure out, again, days and times that work for each weekly session. And those will all be recorded live for you to be able to play back. Those of you that join this, and this is a chance that, even if you can't make the live calls, you can, give us any type of questions you want. And that's going to be time where we're going to sit there and really discuss and break down your specific questions, your specific scenarios that you really want to learn from. And then you're going to have guys that also have questions that you're going to go, wow, I didn't even think about that. That's a great question. I also was wondering about that. So you get to pick up a lot of good different areas of game while also getting your individual questions answered and all of our programs and courses.
And they get it for free. They get it for free. They
those
get
are
our
going to be
programs
included with this
free.
package. So you get the 5 sessions with each of us, and then you get the products and programs. So you'll have it all ready. It's going to be a real quick way for you in 5 weeks to really understand, master this game, whether you're just beginning out, you're 12 years out of the game and coming back in, or whether you are a quote unquote player and you want to up your game. I love working with guys like that. I love it when I can take it to the next level and the next level and the next level, but we're going to meet you where you're at and progress you forward and give you all the tools to do that as well.
Yeah, we're the best at what we do. If you want beautiful women, you want to start waking up next to a beautiful girl, you deserve more. We're the best at what we do. We will help you guys because we truly care about you. We're not just doing this for the money. It takes a lot of time and a lot of investment on our part. But if you give us the deposit, I will at least give you my ebook so you can start reading it now for free. And then you'll be ready. You'll have your questions ready. But you'll get all the programs for free once you sign up, fellas.
Yeah, so I got a question here from Eric, and he messaged and said, hey, how are you? I need some assistance. I asked a girl out, and she said she doesn't want to be more than friends through text. She told me she had a boyfriend a while ago, but I figured they had broke up. I guess not. What do I do? And so when I think about this, when a girl says something like, let's just be friends, or you're coming on too strong, what that is really meaning in girl language is that you're expressing far too much interest in her. You're coming on too strong. You're being too complimentary of her. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're being too receptive to her, like texting her back way too quickly. And when you're showing too much interest early on with women, we already talked about hypergamy, right? A girl, once she feels like she has you, she feels like she can get commitment from you. That's when her eyes go, well, I can maybe do better then, because this guy's already told me he wants me. So again, her innate mating strategies, and every woman is going to go, if I have this guy, well, maybe I can do better. So that's why you can't lead with way too much interest. So women like mystery, even though society tells us that women want you to be a clear communicator, tell her your feelings, tell her how you feel. No, that's wrong. Us men eat that up because us men like to convey information directly. We like to get straight to the point. It's logical for us. Oh, I like her, I should tell her so we can move on with this process. But women are different. That's not how they work. So women need mystery to feel that attraction for a man. And so when I hear something like that, what you need to do is you've got to back off. I don't give her don't get butthurt about it. Don't say something to her like, oh, well, I came on too strong, I'm going to give you space. Don't say anything to her. And don't say anything like you're stuck up. Don't get angry or emotional. It just means when a girl says that to you, you have to read her secret language and go, I need to give her a lot more space so she doesn't feel like I'm way too invested and interested in her. So I would totally take a break from texting that girl, meaning you never initiate a text conversation with this girl again. If she reaches out to you, that's okay. Fine. You can respond. But again, take your time. Mirror texting always take longer to reply than she does. But you cannot initiate anything. You cannot check in with her. You cannot go, hey, how are you? It's been a while. If a girl says, let's just be friends or whatever, again, you're expressing too much interest. Now, if she says, well, let's just be friends, it's probably over for you. But the only way that you have any chance either way is by erasing that memory stick she had of you being too invested and too interested in her. And that means that she needs to go, where did this guy go? I thought he liked me. Now he's not reaching out to me. Now he's not initiating text. And then if she gets curious about that and says, hey, if she says something to you like, hey, it's been a while, how are you doing? Right? I'm still going to play it cool, give her space, take my time to respond, because then you have to erase that image that she had of thinking you're too invested, and you want her to then go, well, I'm not hearing from this guy anymore. And then she gets a little worried. Maybe he moved on. Maybe he found another girl. And that at that point, if she reaches back out to you, then the game can, go back on. But again, you're always doing less than her. You're taking longer to reply than her. You're sending her shorter text messages than she is to you. You're not giving her compliments out of, thin air, right? If anything, she's complimenting you at this point. You're going to really have to erase that image and really make her think, okay, this guy has backed off. Now, now maybe we can try something here. But if a girl ever says that, you just got to totally back off, and you can no longer initiate any type of text conversations. It's got to be her idea.
3 words: beta male barnacle. The BMB, the 3 letters, beta male barnacle. And no offense to you, this used to happen to me, bro. It happens to the best of us. Okay, no hard feelings. But a girl doesn't put you in the friend zone. You put yourself in the friend zone. So either you were too passive, you're being too nice, you're showing too much interest, and that's like revealing your royal flush in a high-stakes poker game. Game over, you're boring, that's it, she already conquered you, on to the next guy, you're no longer a mystery. You kept over-pursuing her, kept texting her, you didn't make any bold statements, you were probably boring, you were the nice guy. So you put yourself in the friend zone. And how do you play this? OTN, on to the next. So you become a savage now. Turn that pain into purpose. Any rejection you guys go through, this has always been my message since day one. Turn that pain into purpose. Focus on yourself. Build your wealth. Work out. Build up your social media. Make sure this girl regrets putting you in the friend zone or regrets losing you. Because one day I want her to see you and go like, wow, this was the dude I rejected. Holy shit, like where did this come from? Man, I lost him. That's the position you guys always want to be in. But most of you drown in your sorrows. You don't want to turn that fuel into bettering yourself. Turn that pain into purpose, my friend. We've been there. The gym welcomes you. And once again, get our courses, sign up for the seminar if you want to make sure that never happens to you again, because that hasn't happened to me in fucking God knows how long. And I'm sure with you as well, the texting prince. I don't think a girl has said, oh, let's just be friends. And I can't even remember the last time a girl said that. I've had girls text me and tell me, oh, they're not interested right now. Okay, from when I met them on dating apps, and I just give them the thumbs up. Never talk to them again, right? Turn that pain into purpose. Make sure they see this face every fucking day of their life in the future. Whatever means possible. That's how I deal with rejection. That's my revenge when it comes to women. And I have one last one texting.
Yeah. First. Okay. Actually, yeah, I had 2, but there are a couple long ones. And I think we only have time for one more, just trying to keep this, in a decent amount of time. So let's just go with yours and we'll end it for now.
I want to read Jared's because Jared has been a big fan. I'm sure he's been emailing you. He's been emailing me. He's been listening to all the episodes. Thank you so much, Jared G. Hey guys, congrats on another great episode this week. Just wanted to wish you guys a good weekend and also touch on a possible subject to discuss. Not really sure that it's relevant with your message, but I'm a divorced single dad, and I feel it's my duty to forewarn my fellow brothers and stress the importance of who guys are hooking up with. It may take years to screen these women, okay, but we teach you that, how to properly screen a woman as well in our seminars and our courses. And he says, I can't stress enough, do not impregnate the wrong woman. Bottom line is that with a toxic woman, not only will it ruin the man, but that child may now have a traumatic upbringing due to the toxic behaviors of their mother. Thank you guys again for your mission and your message. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much, Jared. And he's right. That was more of advice for the men out there. Protect your seed as if it was worth more than gold. That's one of my czar laws. You will protect your seed, fellas. Nothing is worth more than protecting your seed. Do not impregnate the wrong woman, for the love of God. There's predatory women out there. There's trashy, toxic women. There's Jezebel spirits, as I like to call them. You have to protect your essence, protect your energy. I'm not going to sleep with a woman who doesn't match with my energy. I don't care how hot she is. My energy is very sacred. I'm only going to share that with a woman who deserves it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to bring up here of being careful in the sense that, like, the better you get at the game, the more women will be attracted to you, and the more women will want to sleep with you, and the more women you sleep with will also, you'll run into the women that want you to take off your condom. And that's the type of stuff that I would say for sure these days, man. Always wear protection. Yeah, we know it feels better without. Always wear protection. You got to prevent something like this happening. If you don't really know a woman, like you said, and all of a sudden she's the mother of your child, that can be so rough legally. It can be so rough for that child growing up too. If you don't know her and all of a sudden you have a child with her, that's big time trouble. So always wear protection. Always, always, always. That's also going to prevent the STDs that are floating around, the creepy crawlies these days. And the screening process of women. And again, this goes back to, again, why I'm always a chess master when I'm on dates and stuff with women, is that I'm never going to try to rush that sexual thing right away. I want to slowly build that up. Again, that's also going to help me see the character of the woman that I'm with as well. So I want to take my time with that. I don't want to rush it in and like we had on the guy's date where he was escalating in the car, right? If that was a first date or something like that, well, and you're trying to get it in the car, well, then now, again, you're in a car too. Do you even have protection with you? You're putting yourself in a scenario where you might be rushing into something and letting your small head think for your big head, the head with your brain in it. Mm-hmm. So again, be very careful. I like that Jared mentioned this because that is, yeah, that's a terrible situation when you get the legal trouble, you get child support, and then you also get custody issues where you might not get to see your child. And who knows, this could be one of those women that believes that children can pick their own gender. And now you're sitting there going, I can't even see my kid, and she's trying to make my son a woman, or, you know, there can be a lot of crazy stuff like that. So be very careful. Always use protection, and don't be in a rush, guys. Don't be in a rush. You can still have that sexual vibe, that sexual energy without needing to force it in. It's a more of a flirty, playful vibe rather than always trying to escalate every chance you get with a woman. Again, I'm going to go slow. I'm going to kiss her, push her off, and really let the night continue, and then slowly escalate again. But again, I'm also getting to see more about the character of the woman as I'm doing this throughout the night, instead of trying to rush it in and just get another notch on the belt. Because, yeah, cool, you got one more notch you can brag about, but what if you have a child now, and you know that can really handicap your life, but also your future child's life if you have no say. In today's day and age, a lot of men do not, and guys don't really believe this. Guys think, well, I got my life together. Of course the court would give me custody, or of course the court would let me see my son or my daughter. It's like, it doesn't work like that. When you get into the court systems these days, the courts are all going to be biased towards women should be the primary caregivers, all that. It doesn't matter how much better your financial situation is. If anything, the court will just go, well, great, now you got to give X amount of dollars every week to child support, but now she still gets to raise and fill your future child up with her own thoughts about parenting and all that. So great little message, guys. As you get better with game, you will have more situations come up. And that's why you got to be ready, not needing sex all the time, right? Most guys jump at any opportunity when a girl gives it to them, but you got to be careful, got to take your time. And vetting women is huge these days. That's why we had the whole red flag podcast. That's a good one to go back over too. If you're starting to see a girl, go through that red flags podcast we did. I think it's episode 2. Is it episode 2?
I think it's 2. I believe it's 2.
2.
Yeah.
But good advice from Jared there.
Anything I wanted to add something.
Yeah,
I wanted to add, and you made a great point, Texting Prince, right? Once you start putting on the full armor of game, the more the devils are going to try you, the more Satan is going to try you, the more demonic entities are going to test you. Okay. It's similar to when your faith in God is strong, you walk with God, you walk with Christ, you read the Bible. The more Satan is going to want to test you. He's going to want to test your resolve. Same thing with women. When you start learning the game, you start putting on the full armor of game, you're elevating your status, improving yourself, making more money, you're bettering yourself. The more the vultures are going to try attacking you, the more the women are going to try manipulating you, taking advantage of you, the more they're going to want your babies. Are you guys going to fall for it, or are you smarter than that? Even if a girl tells you to finish inside of her, I'm on birth control. Would you take that chance, or are you smarter than that? Okay, you need to ask yourself these questions, because we're ready. Me and the Texan Prince, we can't be manipulated. We have the full armor of game on, but we still get tried left and right. We still get tested. And these hoes don't get it. We ain't falling for the bullshit. Okay? We ain't falling for it. We don't want you guys to fall for it. Protect your seed as if it was worth more than gold. That's one of the Tsar laws. Remember that, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and that's a good one to think about too, is like always wear protection, guys. And even that is not 100% safe, but also think about when you're sleeping with a woman, like really think about if you're ever thinking about taking off that protection, you got to look at that girl and go, is she mom material for the future children? Because even if she says she's on birth control, I don't trust that. I've heard many stories where women will say that, or maybe they forgot to take it and all that stuff. It's like, if you're ever going to take your protection off, you got to look over at that girl and go, would I be happy that she's the mother of my child? Does she have a good family system around her? Are her parents still together? Does she have a good support system? So if we did have a child together, that child wouldn't grow up struggling with a single mom like that? Does she have, parents, it could be grandparents that would still give this child a decent life? Like, those are a lot of different questions. Again, I'm always on the board of do not take protection off. Obviously, if you're, if a girl's your wife or your fiance or something like that, you might have different thoughts on that. But anytime you're thinking about taking protection off, you better make sure that girl would be the type of mother you want for your child, or do not take it off.
Yes. And that happened to one of my best friends. I'm going to end it with this story. He had a successful business, him and his dad, and she knew that. She manipulated him. He was in the moment, under the influence. And as he finished, she told him to finish inside of her. He didn't even ask if she was on birth control. He didn't ask anything. But I'm assuming she told him that she was on birth control. And guess what? She got pregnant because she wanted to lock him down. He was very successful, and she already had a child with another man before him. So she was known to do this with men. And
the Black Widow.
The Black Widow. And you guys have to be careful. I'm not falling for that shit. I've had women try to do that to me, and it's so unattractive because I know what they're trying to do. Automatically, I don't even want to finish. I'm like, I'm done, because I know they're trying to manipulate me. Don't fucking fall for it, fellas. Have self-discipline.
Yes, excellent. All right, that's a good spot for us to end, guys. And again, send us your questions or topics you want us to cover. I'll put both of our emails down in the show notes, and we also have a new podcast Instagram with clips, video clips. So if you're just hearing us on audio, you can find our Instagram, Full Armor of Game. I'll also link that below in the show notes. And those are going to give little clips from each episode where you'll get to see video. And it's also going to be good refreshers of good moments from certain episodes that you can kind of go back in and refresh yourself on from previous episodes or ones you haven't heard of yet. And then you're like, oh, I really like that clip. Go ahead and download that full episode. But we're gonna start growing that Instagram account too, so you have a lot of clips to check out.
And follow us on Instagram at the Texting Prince and also at Czar of Dating. We also have our own YouTube channels. Catch us on the YouTube channel if you want to see this full video live, or Apple, Spotify. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Put on the full armor of game and protect thyself.
Take care, guys.